Welcome to our official training here, and I got some exciting things to share with you tonight. Really 3 or 4 key topics that hopefully can assist you in growing your business. You know, this is January. It's the Super Bowl for weight loss time, and it's the time that people are thinking about getting healthy and making this year different than any other year. And so, you know, as coaches, we talk about this, that there are 4 cornerstones to growing your business. And if you want to be a successful coach, you need to learn how to do these 4 things. Number 1 is learn how to share the program, learn how to get clients. And if you can't get clients, it's going to be tough for you to be a coach. The second is you got to know how to coach your clients. What we have discovered is that clients that are coached and supported well are much more likely to stick with the program and use it to help them continue on in their goals. Refer their friends to you to coach if they feel that the level of support is dynamite. And then third and more important, to become coaches themselves. So support is huge, and we've talked a lot about how to do that. And if you're a coach and you're not sure how to best support your clients, I encourage you to reach out to your coach and ask them, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here tonight. The third is how to add coaches to your team. And then the fourth is how to support those coaches. So really, those are the 4 skill sets. And one of the things that we know, and I don't know if this is true in your business, but it's true in ours, and that is most people that become a coach are a client first. Would you agree? Most people that become coaches first start the program as a client. But that's not always the case. And I don't know about you, but we've got a few coaches on our team that had never done the program at all, and they just really desire to help people. And you know, one of the things that we found is as we continue to reach out on our Facebook and to our friends and share not just about the program, but also about the coaching opportunity, we have had people reach out to us inquiring about being a coach without really interest in doing the program. And I want one of those guys to come on and share a little bit tonight about his journey towards becoming a coach and how that's worked for him. And he had a little bit of a slow start, but is just absolutely rocking it here in January. And he's done a couple things that I think have really helped him. And so I'd like for him to share. So I graduated high school with this guy, like 400 years ago. And seriously, when we graduated, I don't know if we spoke from graduation until then, but connected on Facebook, and it's been awesome reconnecting. So Brad, if you could come off mute, tell us a little bit about your journey, about why you became a coach and some things that you're doing to be successful.
Can you hear me, Corey?
I can.
All right. Well, I was lucky to find Corey through Facebook. I became friends with him. Over the last year, I lost 25 pounds over the last year. Last probably New Year's, I made it my New Year's resolution to lose weight, but not only lose weight, but to keep like a commitment and make it a lifestyle. And I kind of did it on my own. And I joined a gym and I started eating healthy. And what I wanted to do was, as I progressed in the gym and eating healthy and getting healthier and getting more energy, is I was looking for a way to help other people. Because I wanted to pass this along, and I saw Corey's post. I was kind of looking, you know, into the personal trainer thing, maybe part-time, and I saw Corey's post as he's a health coach. I'm like, well, what's a health coach? So I inquired. I messaged Corey, and we ended up talking on the phone, and he told me about the program, and I'm like, this sounds great. And I researched the heck out of it because, you know, whatever I want to do, I want to really get behind it. And I really got behind the program. I love the teaching, to make it a habit, to make it a lifestyle. And me and Corey really connected. He's been a great help to me as my coach. And I felt like I started in it was probably like November. It was the early November, which was probably the worst time and the best time to start, because for me to start then, I'm like, all right, this is great. I'm going to start helping people. Well, you know, you're leading up to the holidays. People were saving money to, you know, for Christmas and everything. They don't want to spend a lot of money. But Corey told me one thing. He's like, you know what? Just plant seeds. just plant seeds, right? It'll happen. It'll happen. So, I was planting seeds, Facebook, through my gym, and also kind of leading by example, like through my gym, like just people noticing and asking, what I'm doing. And it's, Facebook is big, but also leading by example, I feel, is big because people ask you about it, ask what you're doing. And it's kind of, starting to take off here, the first of the year. And there's, I have a handful of clients, and I look right now, and I just love helping them. I love hearing from them. I love hearing their successes. They're, celebrating each week with them. It's a great program, and I'm excited to keep going and keep building this business.
Well, thanks, Brad. And I wanted Brad to share a little bit today because he comes from a perspective of a person coming into Take Shape for Life that hadn't done the program before. And I guarantee that you have people in your life that would be phenomenal health coaches that are already healthy. They want to help people, and they're just looking for a vehicle to help them get there. And we just believe that we have the best thing going, and that they can be successful in assisting people to get what they want. We say that all the time. What is a health coach? We are not food salesmen. What we do is we help people discover what they want. We walk alongside them to help them get it. That's all it is. But listen, I understand, Brad alluded to this, November, December, leading into January. I want 100% transparency here. Okay. I can see like 30 faces. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever been discouraged as a health coach before. Yeah. Okay. Everybody raised their hands, and the ones that didn't are lying. Okay. We know what it's like to be discouraged, right? We know what it's like to, Katie's still raising her hand back there. So we know what it's like. You know why? Because we want this so bad. We want this so bad for people. There's people that we think about, and we're like, oh my gosh, if they could just do this, they could lose 100 pounds and they would be amazing. Or we start thinking like, man, if this person, they would be an amazing coach. And then they become a coach and they do nothing. And we lay awake at night and we think, maybe I'm just a horrible coach. Maybe I just don't know how to share the plan. Maybe this was the worst investment ever. Maybe I'm just not designed to do this. And we get the maybes and the should haves that go crazy in our heads, and we start to talk ourselves out of success. Well, if you have ever faced discouragement before, you're not alone. There's a lot of us that have, and there are some great fighting tools to help you to face discouragement. I'd like Jason Adams, a good friend, to come on and share a little bit about how they've been able to build an amazing business in large part because of learning how to fight discouragement.
Hey, Corey, I am here. So this is probably a great subject for me to talk about because I'd say before coaching, before going through a lot of this, and especially early in coaching, I mean, disappointment was just, it would like debilitate me, and so I would go in, and this is probably most of my life, I would go into a situation already telling myself that I was going to fail. So that way, when it happened, I wasn't, so disappointed. And my wife would always get really mad at me about it. That self-fulfilling prophecy. I can't talk. So yeah, so I just failed there. I just completely botched that up. Anyways, self-fulfilling prophecy. So that would be, that's kind of where I came from. So I was always just ready for everything to just fall apart. And of course, when I started coaching, that followed me into it. And it was just, like, oh, that person didn't sign up. Well, of course they didn't sign up. They weren't going to sign up. And, just telling myself that mindset. And so the one thing that I learned, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about just a little bit of different idea on failure and how you can look at it and disappointments. And, really, it's part of the journey is really what it is. But one thing I really encourage everybody, and if you've heard me on here before, I preach this all the time, even though I'm not a pastor. I'm one of these guys that's not a pastor. That did all right. It's working on yourself as much as you work on your business. And that has been my biggest key to success, is that I had to get to the level of where I wanted to be. And we had global director. Well, me as a person, I'm not a global director yet, because I've got to work on that. And so personal development, really, like, you guys just work on yourself, work on that mindset, because that is going to carry you through all the disappointments. And so this is a kind of the idea to think about, as not just think about a failure, or like Corey was saying, that person, you're so excited to get them to sign up and then they didn't do anything. Or you signed up this coach that, oh, you know what, they're a business owner, they're an entrepreneur, and then, week 1 they return their food because they didn't like the Parmesan puffs. That could just derail somebody. But you know what? That's part of the process. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody is going to grab a hold of this and go, this is an amazing gift, I'm going to do it. Not everybody's ready for it. A lot of people still like the food. Like, the food's the key, right? Well, it's not about the food, it's about the result. And some people aren't ready for that, and that's not your fault. There's nothing you could do. You can't make anybody do anything. All you can do is give them the tools and help them along. And when they do get it, make sure you're there, celebrate them, and go through it. But that's the thing. It's part of the process. If you talk to 4 people and they all said no, and you get frustrated and you don't talk to that 5th person, well, guess what? That one might be the one that said yes. Or you have 5 coaches on your team and 4 of them don't even get on a call or don't even set up a 3-way call. But then you have that one person that just hit manager and has completely changed their life, because an extra $600 in their life completely changes everything. But those other 4 didn't do it, and you could have quit. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And I know you guys have probably seen this before. This never give up. This 3 feet from gold. And this is what we're doing. We are going, and we get disappointed, and then we're just like, forget it, I'm done. If we would have done that, I think we would have been senior coach, last year, and then that was it. We would have been done. Instead, I decided, you know what, I want this, I'm going to push through it. I'm going to get myself ready for disappointment. I'm not going to look at it as, oh, want, nobody likes me, I'm a terrible coach. I'm going to look at it like, this is just part of the process. What can I do to get better? Every time I do a share call and somebody says no, you know what, I did another share call and I'm getting better every single time I do it. Or just the thought of, defeat is temporary, or is a temporary condition. Giving up will make it permanent. So if you do that, don't give up. Push through. You're like 3 feet from gold. And I just had one other thing that I wanted to say about this, because really, I think you've all heard the obstacle is the way. Well, it is. This is the way we learn. We learn through failure. If you're always winning, what do you learn about yourself? You don't have anything to go fix. You don't have anything to go work on. So if you think like your share calls are going bad, or you're having trouble coaching a client, talk with your mentorship. Make sure that it's not just part of what you're doing, but it might just be that person. And all you're doing is just plugging away, getting better. So here's a little story. I don't know if you've ever heard this, the butterfly story of, there's like a little girl walking through the woods, and she sees this cocoon, and she sees this butterfly trying to break out of the cocoon. So she decides, I'm going to go help that butterfly out. So she goes over and she takes the butterfly out of the cocoon. It spreads its wings. It falls. And it dies. Because for that butterfly to get strong, it needed to struggle. It needed to go and break out of that cocoon to be able to build the strength to be able to go and fly. So I just want you to look at, failure is not always a bad thing. Disappointment is not always a bad thing. That's how we grow. That's how we get stronger. And then the next time when somebody says no, you go, okay, not right now. I'll talk to you in a month. And I'll tell you what, this month, we've had like 4 people sign up from shares like 6, 7, 8 months ago. If I would have gave up on them, they wouldn't be starting. And who knows, this could be the thing that completely changes their life. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Wow, that was so inspiring. I love that graphic that you shared. That just always is so encouraging to me. And I want to share 3 practical tips with you. But before I share those practical tips with you, I got to get my preach on for a second, just because that's what I do. And I just, I need to share a couple things with you. Hopefully that's all right. As Jason was talking about struggle, because I know that struggle is something that we deal with. I'm taken back to probably, you can't debate me on this because you're going to lose. And the debate is that the best TV show of all time was Lost. Now, if you've not seen it and you didn't like it, it's because you didn't understand it. So there's no time for debating. So don't put anything in the chat. It's a done deal. But so there is a line from that show where Charlie, the druggie, is trying to get rid of his drug issue, and he has a talk with this weirdo, guy whose name was Locke, who's like skinning a pig, and the same thing is happening where Locke gives Charlie this little example, and he shows him this moth and how Charlie is struggling with his drug addiction, and Locke takes him over to this little cocoon, and he says, I could take this knife and I could open up this hole to make it easier for the moth that is struggling, but I wouldn't do that because then the moth would be too weak to survive. And then he says a line, and he says, struggle is nature's way of strengthening. And I love that. Like, you know what? Can I be honest with you? If you're struggling, I'm glad you're struggling. I'm glad you're struggling because your struggle is making you stronger. Because it's your struggle that you're going through right now that will push you to the front or let you fall behind in the wayside. And if you don't have the struggle, then you will not have a strong business. It is just, we have to get through that. Sometimes in life, you ever walk on like a treadmill or an elliptical machine, and you put it on that cycle where it's like random, where it's like, first it's like level 1 and you're walking on the treadmill and you're like, this is pretty easy. Like, I'm in shape and things are good. And I'm loving life. And then all of a sudden, like level 10 hits and your steps are getting longer. And all of a sudden you're like sweating and you just don't think it's going to work anymore. And you're just, my goodness, you're like trying to shorten your workout, pushing the buttons, like easier. And it's just one of those things. Well, the truth is that when you go through those times on the treadmill during the difficult times, that's when you're burning most of your calories. It's making you stronger. It feels like a word that I love, and it's called plodding. Sometimes our business feels like a plod. It's not. You look around to your right, everybody else is sprinting. It feels like they're running on pavement while you're running in quicksand trying to build your business. And all you're doing, it feels like you're in chest deep of quicksand, and you got to take your knee up to waist high, and you're just plodding step after step after step. And you know what that's doing? It's making you a better coach, and it's making you a better person. And so you got to keep, and this is what I hope, and this is, we say this all the time, there's no comparative reality with Take Shape for Life when it comes to the program or when it comes to the coaching. You can't look to your right and your left and you think, oh, they're national director, they're global director. Skip all that. The only person you're in a race with is yourself. You're not in a race with anybody else. You're in a race with you. So all you're trying to do every month is push forward. Even if you are plotting, push forward. We all go through those seasons. And, one of my favorite quotes is this: what you feed grows and what you starve dies. It's just the nature of life. If you feed something, it's going to grow. If you starve it, it's going to die. So what can you do to feed your Take Shape for Life business? Being on this call is a great one. Setting up mentorship calls and things like that. But see, the more we starve ourselves of the business, it tends to die. So what you feed grows, what you starve dies. Okay, I'm done preaching. I want to give you three little tips that hopefully can help you, and one of them is about follow-up. We say this all the time, that follow-up is so key, that if you can just do these couple things, be healthy yourself, take action by talking to people, and follow up. You're going to build a successful business. One of the things that we have recently, we've got a screen share. Michelle, can you maybe get out of the screen share? Although you do look great in that picture, though, I got to say. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know what's happening. Well, I guess I'm just going to keep going. So when you are following up, there we go. When you are following up, one of the things that we have started to do to really help us when we are following up with people is about a week to 10 days after sharing the program with them, I will send them a text message with a before and after picture included in that text message. And usually what I'll do is I will find a person, and somebody can probably put this up in the chat window if you don't, but there is a link that you can have access to a whole library full of before and after pictures. If somebody can put that link up in the chat window, that'd be helpful. But you can find a before and after picture. So if you're talking to a guy that's wanting to lose 50 pounds, I find a before and after picture of a guy that's trying to lose 50 pounds. If you're with a girl that's wanting to lose 100 plus pounds, I find a girl that's lost 100 plus pounds. And I will say something along the lines of, hey, great talking with you last week. I'm so excited to help you lose X amount of weight. And that's the importance of taking good notes and filling out their trackers when you're talking to them. But I'll attach a before and after picture, and I'll say, this could be you. This could be you in 6 months, or this could be you in 8 months. And I'm seeing that as we are doing that, that is helping a tremendous amount with follow-up. We say this, but if you want a successful business, have a binder filled with 100 conversations that you have started and follow up with those 100 people. I mean, by doing that, I'm telling you, you're going to have people that are ready now, and you're going to have some people that are ready later. Another thing that I wanted to share with you, and I'm kind of rapid firing here because I want to get done and then maybe take some time for question and answer. But one of the things that we have found, I don't know about you, but I have had my struggle with getting clients to call me back. Anybody else? Where you're like so frustrated because you're like, I'm trying to coach you. I know you read the text message because it says read. Like, how difficult is it to just respond and say, hey, I'm doing great. And do you know why you're not texting me back? It's because you're not doing the program very well. I'm not an idiot. Okay. I mean, we know this, and we start like reading into all this. And, a couple of things that have helped me is, first off, to always believe the best in someone. We don't want to do that, do we? We want to believe the worst. We want to assume the worst. We want to assume they're quitting the program, they're sending all their food back, and they're spreading bad things about me on Facebook. I guarantee it. Like that, we start going, off the deep end, and that's not always true. So some of the things that I have done to help me, first off, the best thing that you want to do with your clients is get them on the phone. But there are some people that don't want to get on the phone and won't text you back, okay? So what I tend to do with those people are a couple things. First, what I try that I've seen that has worked is I will text them at the beginning of the week. I have 2 days for client support, Monday and Friday. I will text them at the beginning of the week and say, hey, so-and-so, I'm setting my schedule for this week. It's kind of a crazy week, and I know that you're busy too, and I would love to connect with you for 5 minutes. Is there a time that works best for you on Friday between this and this time? And I'm telling you, when I do that, almost always I get them to text me back. Almost always. I can think of maybe one or two, and those people just don't want to get in touch with you. But I'm telling you, if you give your clients a couple days notice, it works a lot better. Don't just call them the day of and say, hey, do you got some time to talk today? Right? Give them a couple days notice. If you're doing your client support calls on Wednesday, text them on Monday and say, hey, I've got some time Wednesday. I'd love to connect. what time is best for you? Is it best in the morning or in the afternoon? Like, give them a couple options. I'm telling you, if you do that, you're going to get more responses than maybe you're getting now. So hopefully that's helpful. And then one thing that I have started to do with my clients that just refuse to text me back or whatever, I will record a personal video for them. I'll record a video that I am talking to them, and I'll say, hey, Steve, just thinking about you today. Hope you're doing well. I know we haven't talked in a couple of weeks. It's been a crazy season, man. New Year's, and I'm sure the job. I hope everything's going well with you and your family. But, man, I remember us talking a few months ago, and I would just absolutely love to help you on your journey. And if you got some time to chat this week, it'd be great. And I'll send it to them. If you do the video, make it 60 seconds or less. Do not record a video that is longer than 60 seconds. I'm telling you, they probably won't watch it. Record a video, 60 seconds or less, make it personal, and send it to them. Now, one of the things that I'll tell you is don't let your client support be replaced by videos. I would only use this if it's a last case scenario. Like, you cannot get a hold of this person, and even sometimes even the video is not going to work. And just like Jason said, it's not an issue with you, it's an issue with them. And one of the things that has helped me is I got a lady that I've been trying to coach. She's got to lose a lot of weight. And I've had the hardest time getting in touch with her. And I text her. I think one of the things that makes me a good coach is I'm stubborn. I just refuse to give up on people. Like, if they haven't texted me back in 6 months, I'm texting them. Like, I'll keep them in the friend zone, but I'm like, I will, like, you're not going to get rid of me. And so I keep messaging them, but I sent her a video and she responded, and I said something like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry if I keep annoying you and keep reaching out to you. And you know what she said to me? She said, you're not annoying. She said, I keep seeing your messages. I'm not annoyed with you. I'm annoyed with me. I guarantee you, those people that are not reaching out to you, they're not annoyed with you. You know who they're annoyed with? They're annoyed with them. They're annoyed with them that they're not sticking with it. Their self-esteem has been shot. They think to themselves, this is just another program that's not going to work. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I'm always going to be fat. This doesn't work. And those are the people that you are dealing with. And so just remember that. And you know what you do? You keep reaching out. You keep loving. You keep supporting. You keep helping. You keep believing. And that's what we do as coaches. We believe in people until they believe in themselves. That's what we do. We believe in people until they believe in themselves. And so keep doing that. And then the last thing that I'll share with you, and then I'll take some questions or we can go through some discussion. But we have just started utilizing these, but I'm telling you, if you would like to add more coaches to your team, which I hope you do, because you're going to get more people healthy if you add more coaches to your team. Utilize the power of 3-way celebration calls with your coach. I am telling you, this is huge. Like, we posture coaching from the very beginning. Dan talks about this, but we do this, and we've seen it work wonders. From the very beginning, when they first place their kit, to a referral letter that we send out that mentions coaching, to their celebration calls, bringing your coach on a celebration call with that client to celebrate them and to layer coaching is going to help you tremendously. So I would encourage you, if you've not been doing celebration calls with your clients, introducing them to your coach, you're missing out. Because there are people, I guarantee, if you're supporting 3 or 4 clients, you've got a coach in there somewhere. And if you're supporting 5, 10, 15, 20, you got 3 or 4. And allow your coach to assist you in working with those potential coaches, because, you know, and I just believe this. You know, we have some amazing coaches, right? Dan Valentine and Doug Wood and Tia and Raquel and Eric. You know what I believe? I think the best coaches Take Shape for Life has ever seen aren't even coaches yet. They're in your pre-client binder right now. They're your clients that just started last week. It's that person that isn't calling you back, but yet you're still not giving up on them. You know, Dan Valentine sat on his box for 3 weeks, not literally sat on his box, but had his box sitting in the corner of his house for 3 weeks before picking up that food and starting the program. And Eric refused to give up on him. And I'm guessing Eric Huntsberger is glad that he didn't give up on Dan Valentine today. Dan Valentine is in your coaching organization, or he's in your client base. He's in your Facebook friend circle. She's there. The next Becca Tinker is in your group. They are. And we've got to be able to continue to reach out and support those clients to help them to grow so that they can become better down the road as well. So that's all I've got. I know I talked for a little while here tonight. Hope that this has been successful and helpful for you. We recorded this. I'm going to kind of turn off recording because this is the end of the training, but I will stay on for a few moments and answer some questions, or we can have some discussion if you want to. Jason, go ahead.
So I want to tell you about a little story that happened